There for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett
Connor. Morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of March 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Coca-Cola. They're proud to support your birthday shoutouts. Coca-Cola is available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we do wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman and geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the pleasure of being your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. You can try our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255, also 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at talktooc@gmail.com. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube. You do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And, of course, we are on Facebook as well. So let's first look at the birthday shout outs this morning, and we want to give happy birthday shout out to Miss Melba Nixon, who Facebook tells us that she's celebrating a birthday today. Also, Miss Lana Connell is celebrating a birthday today, and Mr. Peter Schmidt also celebrating his birthday today. So we want to say happy birthday to Peter, happy birthday to Lana, happy birthday to Miss Melba Nixon as well. We understand that tomorrow, is that Andrea Borden, Miss Susan? Miss Andrea Borden celebrating her birthday tomorrow. And on Friday, Jean-Eric Smith, also known as Notch, will be celebrating his birthday on Friday, Good Friday, as well. So we want to wish all of them a happy birthday. And of course, if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday either today or over the weekend as well, please let us know. As a matter of fact, up until next week, Wednesday, because after today, Friday being a holiday, Monday being a holiday, For the Record will not be back on air again until next week, Wednesday. So do send those birthday shout outs or any other congratulatory messages that you may want to send out. We have some more that we will be sharing with you later as well. But meanwhile, please feel free to send those into us. No guests in the studio this morning as well. And we wanted to give you, our listening and viewing audience, an opportunity to call in and to have your say as well. It probably will allow me to give you a little bit more time to talk as well. I know sometimes we have to shorten the conversation due to commercial breaks as well as having guests in the studio, but we will try to be as flexible as we possibly can whenever the occasion allows for that. Meanwhile, talking about birthdays. This morning, of course, scanning through my Tradewinds newspaper, and I was looking for in the month of March and the month of April, because as you know, sometimes Easter will fall in the month of March, sometimes it will fall in the month of April. So in the Tradewinds newspaper of April the 7th, 1966, or Cayman Brack reporter, at that time, Mr. Keith Parker Tibbetts Jr., the late Mr. Keith Parker Tibbetts Jr., was the reporter for the Sister Islands. And the first paragraph in his column, your Cayman Brack reporter, Mr. Tibbetts, reported, and I read, Mr. and Mrs. Wellington Watson are the happy parents of a baby girl born on Friday, March the 25th at Nurse Petrona's home at Creek, Cayman Brack. I'm not going to give you a name yet. I don't have a prize to give out, but if you know who that person may be, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Wellington Watson, born on the 25th day of April, 1960. March, 25th day of March, 1966. Let me know. I'm told that when she was born, the individual, I shouldn't say she or he was born. I don't want to give it away. That one person remarked, "Oh, what beautiful eyes! Oh, what beautiful eyes!" And then she wouldn't open her mouth, so they developed a little formula to get her to open her mouth, and her mouth was open. And of course, she's that beautiful person that she is still today as well. So if you know who is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Wellington Watson, born on the 25th day of March, 1966, let us note, because that was in Mr. Keith Parker Tibbetts Jr.'s report, your Cayman Brac reporter, on the 7th of April, 1966. While we are on the Brac, I want to say, thanks to all of those persons who reached out to us. Mr. Elvis McKeever popped into where we were broadcasting at the Brac Reef Hotel and said hello to us, as well. Mr. Raymond Scott, of course, he was there also, and Mr. Christian, Albert Christian, of course, we had him on the show, and because of time constraints, we weren't able to talk as long as we would have loved to with him. We hope also that he's having some success in getting his well for his farm on the bluff, and all of those, as well as, of course, you heard Minister J.E. Banks on Monday talk about the efforts that he's undertaken to ensure that that becomes a reality as well. And I also want to give a big shout out to the staff of the bakery in, is it Progressive? The bakery in the Brac. Pioneer Bakery, Mr. Lennox Moxham. Haven't heard from him in quite a while, but went there, popped in to look for him. He wasn't there. I bought some bullets, and my colleagues, they purchased some stuff there as well. But I want to give a big shout out to the staff there, because the two ladies there, they said, that voice sounds familiar. And then when they found out who I was, they said, oh, we listen to you every morning. Every morning we listen to you. So I want to give a big shout out to those two ladies there as well at the Pioneer Bakery. And they do such a great job up there. Of course, they were working extremely hard because they knew that the higher demands would be placed on them with all of those persons who would be coming from Grand Cayman to attend the agriculture show in the Brac as well. So one of our listeners has said and said, the baby was Susan Watson, and of course you are right. Our own Susan Watson, she made the news on the 7th of April, 1966. And she was the first mention of the Mr. Keith Parker Tibbetts Jr. in his Cayman Brac report. Our own Miss Susan Watson as well. We do have a caller, but why don't we take the commercial break first? And we will take the caller after. This way we won't have to interrupt after 1 minute to go to the commercial break. Caller, hang in there. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor, 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The 17th annual Bill Rudy Rotary Central Science Fair coming soon, Saturday, April 13th at the Arc, Kamana Bay. Plan for it, shape up your projects now. Open to students across all schools in Cayman. Bring the children, bring the family, help inspire the next generation scientists. The Bill Rudy Rotary Central Science Fair, an intersection of young people in science. Rotary Central, creating hope in the world.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
You don't need to be great to start, but you sure do need to start to be great. We've all been there. The little put when we try to start the car. Starters and alternators will eventually go. When life happens to your car, Superior Auto can save your day. Superior Auto offers complete starter and alternator repair. Superior Auto, 525-9571 or 949-9570. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Shop the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale.
In honor of our seniors, Brand Source Home Gallery is offering a 15% discount now until April 6 on appliances, mattresses, plumbing and bath fixtures, lighting, ceiling fans, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, and more. And I heard right, 15% off store-wide.
If you are over the age of 60, you can purchase for your family and friends. Just show your ID. It's that easy to save 15% with the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale. Visit Brand Source on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000 for details.
Tortuga is giving you the chance to win big with its Treasure to 10K giveaway. Spend $25 in store or online from now until April 5th for a chance to win a grand prize of $10,000 cash plus $1,500 of Tortuga vouchers and some fantastic weekly giveaways. It's all part of Tortuga's big 40th anniversary celebrations. Visit any Tortuga retail or discount store or shop online at tortuga.ky to enter.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold, so let's go straight to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. I've been listening to your program for many years. What I call about, I know you're a cyclist. You ride bicycle?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I see you. Can you let your cyclist guys them know that to ride properly on the road?
Okay, and what is proper? What is properly?
Okay, there's a bicycle lane, and I saw the guy them Tuesday morning and last week Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
They was riding.
Mm-hmm.
They covered entire road.
Oh.
And a guy was driving a white car.
Mm-hmm.
I have the license plate number, but I wouldn't say it. And the guy nearly hit a group of them. And when the guy got down on them, he honked his horn.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guy on the bicycle, I heard him shout, and he used the F word to the guy. And I saw it twice. So I said, I'm going to call you and let you know, to appealing to the guys and to ride properly on the road.
And I want to thank you for bringing that to our attention, because the rules of the road in terms of cyclists are allowed to ride only two abreast, whenever the conditions allow. Otherwise, they should ride in single file rather than two abreast, but they are allowed to ride two abreast. Those persons that are all over the road and taking up the entire road, we do not, as cyclists, we do not support their actions, what they do. We don't support that. We discourage it. And even on our rides, because we have different groups. We have, some people who prefer to ride at a moderate pace. You have others who want to get out there and the testosterone is flowing, and every morning they're out there hammering in their groups. And I have an idea of the group that you're talking about, and what their actions do. It really sheds a bad light on those law-abiding cyclists who, try to ensure that they abide by the rules of the road. Fortunately, in some areas, we do have cycling lanes, so that even reduces or lessens the excuse for having to ride on the main part of the road. They shouldn't have to do that where there are cycling lanes. There are some roads, for instance, one of the most treacherous areas that I find to cycle is coming from the Frankstown Junction all the way down to, let's say, this Savannah Rubis gas station. The lanes are narrow. You can't ride too close to the edge of the road because of the road conditions, and vehicles do come quite close there. But cyclists have no excuse when they're riding like that. And then to react to drivers who honk their horns or, try to correct them, that is an additional insult. So I want to say to you that it isn't an action that I condone. I will bring it to the attention of the cycling executive of the Cycling Association as well, so that they can remind their members, and even if they're not members, the cycling public, that they should ride properly. Yes, there are times when drivers do come close to us without excuse, but the cyclists are not blameless as well. And I want to thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay, so you have a nice day now.
Thank you. You do so as well. And thanks for listening and continuing to listen to Radio Cayman as well.
Okay, sir. Have a great day.
Okay. And I hope and I trust that some cyclists are listening to that this morning, as well, because you're giving cyclists a bad name when you're out there all over the road. Lower the testosterone levels. I'll give you a joke. What we talk about, some of those cyclists that like to get out there, and we call it hammering in the mornings. So we come out on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. We ride on Sundays as well. Some people ride on Saturdays, and they're hammering. Then, of course, when there's a sponsored race and they get out there to race, that's the time that they are not hammering. So they race when it's time to get out there and train, and when it's a race, they're out there riding like they're training rather than racing. But just like any other activity, you have you have the various personalities that you have to deal with as far as cycling is concerned, and some are out there just trying to prove themselves. To whom, I'm not sure, but they're out there trying to prove themselves as well. So, cyclists, I may be hitting you a little bit hard this morning, but you will get it when you deserve it. Yes, well, we have another caller. Let's grab. Oh, we have a WhatsApp caller. Let's go to that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC, and your guests, if you have any. How are you doing today?
Good morning. No guests this morning. I'm doing fine, and how are you?
Doing good, thanks. Just wanted to touch something about the cyclists.
Sure.
I love to see them on the roads, and I love to cycle. Of course, I don't do it as much as I did when I was a kid for many reasons, but I have 2 points I'd like to share about cycling. Apart from your points. One is flipping back to when I was a kid in the 80s, I guess, when it changed, 80s, maybe 90s, when the law somehow changed that a cyclist is no longer required by law to have a light at night. Never mind a reflector, because a reflector only reflects if a light is shown on it. But I'm not sure when, because when I was a kid, you had to have front lights, back lights, brakes had to be working. If the cops saw you at night and pulled you over, they would literally throw your bike in the back of their trunk and take it to the police station if you didn't have a light. And I wonder why, you hear the police the other day talking about the broken light syndrome. If the tail light is broken in the car, guess what? They're going to pull you over, they're going to find something else wrong. Well, it's the same thing with a bike. I mean, and I also wonder if the insurance company covers a cyclist if they're out cycling dangerously or especially at night without a light. If they get hit by a car, by a vehicle, unfortunately, would their insurance company give them any coverage, seeing that they're cycling without a light, same as a vehicle with defective lights?
Well, I would imagine that if you're out there riding, with no lights, you could be accused of contributing towards the accident. While it may be the driver's fault to a certain extent, you could be a contributing factor to that by not having lights on so that you could be seen properly. So that I guess that would be a matter of litigation.
But I'd like if the police or the law enforcement community could answer or address that question, because it really makes no sense to me that people are no longer required to have a light. They are
required, whether or not it is enforced, but they should have a light when they're riding. And like you said, before, I remember the days when you had Mr. Royal Anderson and Mr. Boyer and Mr. Rudy Evans. And those days, very few cars on Cayman's Road, so the majority of traffic was using bicycles and stuff. And like you said, it wasn't unusual for them to stop you, and either you end up going to court for riding a bicycle without a light, and don't forget, we also you had to license a bike
exactly
as well. That is no longer required. But then, we see a situation now where we're having difficulties even with the motor vehicles, controlling them and ensuring that they're properly licensed and insured. So I guess the cyclists would be probably a low priority on the totem pole.
Well, it is low, unfortunately, but the easiest way to get damaged or injured in Cayman is to ride a bike on the road regularly, unfortunately. And the other point briefly is just that while I don't think we have to go back to licensing them formally, every bicycle owner should know, I think many don't even know, that there's a serial number imprinted on each bike.
Yeah.
And as they buy it, that's the first thing they should do. Either take a picture, record it, email it, do whatever, send it to yourself. So if your bike is stolen and if you have to report it, some of these bikes are worth, as you know as a cyclist, some of these bikes are worth in the thousands.
Yes.
So if you have to report it, whether it's a Huffy or a racing bike, you can give the police the serial number. That's all you have to do, because it can be repeated, it can be changed around, but that number is like the VIN number in a car. Doesn't change. Or it's hard to change. So I would advise, owners to do that, to record that number.
Yeah, and you can also put tracking devices on your bike. You know, you see where your seat pole is. You can put a device in there, and if the bike is stolen, you can actually track it. You know, as well. But as far as lighting is concerned, these days you can purchase so many of those LED lights. You can get the type that you can clip on to your back pocket or on your shirt or whatever. And they're so cheap. They're environmentally friendly as well, because you don't have to use batteries. You can you can I forget what you call it now.
Some can be
USB. Use USB to charge them and stuff like that. Relatively cheap. So if you value your life, then spending a $10 or $15 on a light to ensure that you're visible on the roads of the Cayman Islands, that you shouldn't have to debate. Which one is more important. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. Great having the conversation with you, folks. It is top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation will continue. Don't forget, 1 week after today, 1 week, so you have an opportunity to call in, converse with me right here on For the Record. For the Record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is a minute after 8.
Feast without the fuss.
This Easter, make Foster's a part of your cherished traditions with our full Easter spread.
Order your main, sides, and dessert online starting at $94.99. Then pick it up in-store, ready to feed up to 8.
Choose your main from a 12-hour smoked pork, oven-roasted turkey, or maple-glazed ham.
Or indulge your guests with our extra special herb-roasted leg of lamb feast for $119.
Order your Easter holiday dinner online today at fosters.ky.
Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. Statistics from Public Safety Communication 911 indicate more than 600 individual motor vehicle accidents have been recorded since the beginning of the year. The National Road Safety Committee says speeding, drink driving, and using phones while driving are key factors causing accidents across the islands. NRSC Chair Eric Bush says with 2 lives lost, motorists and the community must make a commitment to safe driving practices.
Let us honor the memory of those we have lost by ensuring that such incidents do not reoccur. Together, we can truly save lives and make a difference. No more for 2024.
Mr. Bush and the committee are encouraging everyone to slow down and to make a conscious decision to prioritize safety over speed. You can take the NRSC Road to Zero pledge at gov.ky/road safety. Deputy Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, is back home after a busy week engaging with U.S. policymakers, regulators, and industry. The Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services and Commerce visited Washington, D.C. and New York from the 13th through the 21st of March to listen to current views on global industry matters, as well as to provide an update on the island's soundness and business viability. Along with Cayman Finance roundtables, the Deputy Premier held introductory meetings with D.C.-based journalists from, quote, highly respectable media outlets who cover international issues relevant to Cayman's financial services framework. Supporting the Deputy Premier during the visit, government's Deputy Rep for Financial Services to Europe, Julie Campbell, who works in the Ministry for Financial Services and Commerce. The Cayman Islands host the launch of CCRIF's Ivan Plus 20 campaign, marking 20 years since Hurricane Ivan. The initiative remembers the devastation and celebrates the region's improved resilience. It includes scholarships, time capsules, and events focused on building a more sustainable and resilient Caribbean. Organizers say Ivan Plus 20 reflects on the past, learns from the present, and envisions a future prepared for natural disasters. That is your latest local news. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News. The data recorder from the ship that crashed into a bridge on the river Patapsco in the U.S. city of Baltimore on Tuesday has been recovered. The bridge collapsed within minutes of being hit. Investigators are hoping the data recorder will throw light onto why the container vessel lost power. A United Nations probe has found that the military in Myanmar orchestrated a secret hate speech campaign on Facebook targeting the country's ethnic Muslim Rohingya minority. UN investigators found the covert campaign, involving more than 10,000 Facebook posts, was going on as Rohingya villages were being burned and thousands tortured. Thailand is set to become the first country in Southeast Asia to recognise same-sex marriage after its parliament overwhelmingly approved a marriage equality bill. It needs to be passed by the Senate and endorsed by the King before it can become law. President Xi Jinping has met a delegation of US business leaders in an apparent attempt to woo foreign firms back into China. The BBC Beijing correspondent says the Chinese leader is keen to reassure global investors. The Environment Agency in England says record amounts of raw sewage were released into the rivers and the sea last year by water companies. The problem has caused growing public anger. The head of Interpol has warned of a global trafficking crisis fueled by spread of organised crime rings. Europol has confirmed to the BBC there was a serious security breach last year involving missing personnel files. The US says it will attempt to seize 2 luxury New York apartments that prosecutors say were purchased by Mongolia's former Prime Minister Sukhbatar Batbold with profits from corrupt mining deals. He's denied taking kickbacks. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
You don't sound too good there, Bobo.
Yeah, you know how it is. With the kids back in school, every other week they come in now with something, and then I catch it.
Sound like it gets you. But for real, brother, flu season is here and COVID is still around. You gotta stock up on things like medicine, vitamins, and minerals for you and the kids. You know what they say, prevention is better than cure.
At ValueMed, our pharmacists can help manage flu symptoms and provide guidance on vitamins and minerals to best support you and your family's overall health. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Town, or WhatsApp your questions and prescription refills to ValueMed on Walkers Road at 926-1662 or WhatsApp ValueMed in Town at 916-5511. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hey Bobo, have you taken the pledge?
What pledge?
The Safe Drivers Pledge, to show your dedication to fostering a culture of responsible driving. Some of the accidents we have in Cayman could have been avoided simply by drivers being more vigilant behind the wheel.
You're right, you know. Our actions behind the wheel can have serious consequences. Everyone should make a commitment to drive safely. Where can I take the pledge?
Visit gov.ky/road safety/pledge.
Thanks. I'll tell others to take the pledge too.
Let's make our roads safer together and say no more for 2024. Visit www.gov.ky/road safety for more information and to take the pledge.
Has the circus come to town? No, it's A.L. Thompson's 2-week blowout sale from March 15 through March 30. Get under the huge tent outside A.L. Thompson's to save big. Save up to 75% on lighting, electrical, plumbing, paint, and hardware. Save up to 75% on housewares, building materials, and the ever-popular scratch and dent appliances. Take advantage of this savings while they last. It's March blowout under the tent at A.L. Thompson's, Georgetown.
The 8 a.m. Weather Report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure is 29.87 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synopsis indicate a ridge of high pressure over the eastern United States will support light to moderate winds and slight seas over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. And satellite images show a few low-level clouds across the northwest Caribbean. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be southeasterly 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be southeasterly 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:49, low tide this afternoon at 4:17, and a high tide again tonight at 5 minutes past 11. The sun will set this evening at 6:37 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:23. And the outlook is calling for an approaching cold front to support light winds that will veer towards the south-southwest by Thursday afternoon and towards the west-northwest by Thursday evening. The cold front is expected to stall and weaken as it enters the Cayman area early Friday morning, supporting some early morning showers, moderate to fresh winds and rough seas. A small craft warning will be in effect from Friday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. Weather Report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at traffic. Coming from the east, traffic is steady but flowing on the Linford Pearson Highway, on Cool Road as well, heading to Georgetown. Eastbound traffic on Cool Road is moving on pretty good and free flowing coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. And traffic is light to moderate on Owen Roberts Drive. Coming off of the Estella Tibbetts Highway, traffic is steady but flowing and continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, free flowing. Light to moderate traffic flow on Owen Roberts Drive and coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady but flowing. Rex Crichton and Shamrock Road traffic is moderate. And that's the very latest on your traffic. If you see any accidents or incidents, please give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad had taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of March. For the Record will not be back on air again until next week, Wednesday. No guest in the studio today. Want to give all of our listeners and those who call in an opportunity to call in to chat this morning. If you want to talk about Easter, if you want to talk about something else, like we had a caller who called in and spoke about cyclists and the hazards that they pose to other road users when they are not using the roads properly and abiding by the rules of the road, by the laws, as well. So one of our listeners sent me a WhatsApp message and said, good morning, OC. Definitely lights on the bikes at night should be law. And the police, if they see someone with no lights at night, stop them and don't let them ride anymore. And from a personal standpoint, if you value your life, if you value your safety, then you want to ensure that you are visible on the roads. We see, what takes place on our roads. I'm not privy to the details of the accident yesterday on Linford Pearson Highway, but I do know that when you are using the roads, especially if you're operating a motor vehicle and you see those cones on the road, and sometimes there may be even signs indicating that men are working, you automatically should be reducing your speed and driving cautiously in that area. There are some jurisdictions where you get ticketed if you don't reduce the speed when you're crossing where workers are on our roads. But again, it goes to my point. When you have people who are coming from riding horses and buggies, or riding on the back of trucks, or just riding in a bus, and you go to another jurisdiction and you have the luxury of owning a car and getting on the roads, what do you expect when you are not familiar with the environment under which you are operating. That is what happens. That combined with the additional craziness that's going on the road, and it also seems as if many operators in the morning or during the course of the day can't function unless they're smoking the herb. I have never seen more and more situations when you're driving or you're riding on the roads and a vehicle crosses you and the smell of the ganja is just coming out of the vehicles. Folks, we are becoming the lawless Cayman Islands again if we don't get this under control. If we don't get it under control. So one of our listeners wrote in and said, "Good morning. Let me find it now. Okay, here we go. Said, good morning. What do you think about a toll road to Frank Sound?" Person says, "I would encourage you to look at the book of Ezra, Ezra 4, verses 13 to 20, and tell us what do you think." Well, I won't read the entire verses of Ezra 4, verses 13 to 20, but I can tell you what this particular verse says. Ezra 4:12, 13. "Now let it be known to the king that if that city is rebuilt and the walls are finished, they will not pay tribute, custom tax, or toll, and it will be detrimental to the revenue of the kings." So I wanted to share that with you. One of our listeners asked me what I thought of it. I think it's a good idea. Road users, if you don't want to set up toll booths, you shouldn't have to do that. If you don't want to set up toll booths, then what you simply do is, if you increase the registration fee for a vehicle, let's say if you increase it by $10, if you average out what an individual would spend on tolls for a year, and just take it and put it into the registration fee, and then you ring fence that, because you have to repair our roads. We should be able to enforce the laws, the traffic laws as well, and those fees would help to do that. We do have a caller on hold on our WhatsApp number. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good to hear you, man. Good to hear you.
Good morning. Good to hear you as well. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. One day at a time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes God puts us on a delay, but not a setback. He just delaying us for a while.
Yep.
You know. But I want to talk about the traffic situation, but talking about the toll, OC, I don't know. You said something just now that I agree 100% with you. I mean, like you said, sometimes the car passing you, you can smell the marijuana, and sometimes they come so close behind you, the boom boom music that, I mean, it shocks you. You think they could get in an accident or it's a crash behind you or in front of you, you know? And the part with that, OC, I feel, I could be wrong, but there's a lot of people that is just idling all the time up and down on the roads. And I think if you put in a toll, don't increase the fee, because that'll be only a yearly fee for the registration. But if you put in a toll, that every time that they pass in that area, they would have to stop and put that money in. I think that would eliminate a lot of the traffic situation on the island. Because, see, this thing ain't getting no better. This traffic situation ain't getting no better. It getting worse.
That is true.
I mean, every time a ship coming, I understand that cars are coming in on the island. And see, drive around the island, just in town. You know how many spots I see that they have cars for sale, the European cars and the Japanese cars, and they can't sell them. They'll be there for years, just rotting down. I don't know if the companies just want to get them out of their lot over wherever they get them from Jamaica, coming from Japan or wherever. But Cayman, look up by the airport. How many places? Go Sound Road, right there past CUC. It's another place there again. I don't know what they're doing with all these cars in Cayman. I don't understand.
The demand, the
demand. I know. No, it's not demand. I know a house. I know a house that got 10 people in it, and it's 10 cars.
That's demand. That's the demand. Yeah.
No, man. No, man. And they all leave in all different times of the day. So working 10 people in the house in 10 car, man.
And if they're at the rate that they're wrecking them, then the replacement, of vehicles, it would be good. Here in Cayman, we're not good, with data and stuff like that. But it would be useful to know how many vehicles have been written off as a result of, accidents per year as well. That would be useful.
These old cars that is parked along the road and parking in people's yard. The government need the NRA or whoever they are in charge of these cars need to go and stick them. And if they give them a time and say, well, I'm giving you 2 weeks to move this vehicle. If you don't move it, I'm going to, charge you and stuff like that. Because, man. I mean, you're driving around some people's yard, you see 3 and 4 old car parked up in the yard, not doing nothing. Yeah, it's their yard. Yes, their car. But they ain't in working condition no more. Get rid of them,
Yeah.
But they pile up and they got them parked on the side of the road as well.
Yep.
Yep. So I don't know, but also this traffic problem in Cayman is very serious. But I think that they should put in a toll that you can stop and you put in. I don't know how much you would put in. You can give me an idea more or less. Every time that you're passing, going up or coming down, that you put in this toll, that this will eliminate some of the people. They're just driving up and down. I'm going to give you a joke and I'll leave you one time. They told me, Mr. Woody, there were years ago, these guys was up there on a Sunday. He was sitting down on a little stool by the gas pump, and these guys were driving their car up and down, run up and down, and every time he would sit down, they would come up to get gas. He tell me, he say, man, I can't stay home, man. He say, all I'm doing is walking me to death. The minute I sit down, I'm coming to buy gas. So they say, well, Mr. Woody, you selling the gas, you don't want to make money or what, But that's how it was,
Yep.
He was rowing because they were burning too much gas, So, yeah, but we'll see you have a good Easter.
Thank you.
And try to encourage the people slow down on the road, because I know it's not going to be a good Easter.
Okay, thank you.
Too much vehicles and driving drunk as well. And ask you to tell them to please clean up wherever they camp in. Don't leave any mess on the beach. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Also, Ms. Susan, we have another caller, but we won't take the caller until we return from the break. What I'll do in the meantime is we will share some more birthday shout-outs very quickly. And Miss Jewel, over in Northside, she says. Sends greetings to Miss Susan as well. Because Friday is a holiday, so the big day for the Honorable Premier is Saturday. hence my reason. So happy birthday to the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly from Jewel here in Northside. Our Premier, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, will be celebrating her birthday on Saturday, so we want to wish her a happy birthday when it comes as well. Let's quickly look at other birthdays. Miss Raquel Tibbet celebrating her birthday on Saturday. Eunice Gilbert or Gilbert celebrating hers as well. Holly-Ann Borden celebrating birthday on the 31st of March. Eric Ebanks celebrating his on Sunday the 31st. Mr. Shamaris Scott celebrating his birthday also on Sunday the 31st of March. And Mr. Keith Anthony Blair also celebrating his birthday on Sunday the 31st of March. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We have a few callers on hold. We're asking you to please be patient. As soon as we return from the commercial break, we will take your call, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Shop the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale.
In honor of our seniors, Brand Source Home Gallery is offering a 15% discount now until April 6 on appliances, mattresses, plumbing and bath fixtures, lighting, ceiling fans, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, and more. And I heard right, 15% off store-wide.
If you are over the age of 60, you can purchase for your family and friends. Just show your ID. It's that easy to save 15% with the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale. Visit Brand Source on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000 for details.
Hey there, K-Man. Have a few minutes to spare? Your Ministry for Housing has just launched the public survey for the Cayman Islands Housing Policy and Strategic Plan. We are all about making our island home even better. We need your help. It's your thoughts and ideas that will shape our housing policies for the future. Your voice matters, and it's easy to get involved. Just visit cihousingplan.org and let your voice be heard. Plus, you could catch some cool gift cards just for sharing your ideas. Don't miss out. Open through April 16th, head to cihousingplan.org or go to the ministry's Facebook, Instagram, X, or LinkedIn now and be a part of the conversation. Your input matters more than you know. Let's make Cayman's housing future brighter. Together, your voice, your future. Take the survey today.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The Rotary Central Spring Storytime, Saturday, April 6th at West Bay Public Library, 10 a.m. through noon. A free storytelling children's event featuring Eric Magician, Sing-Along, Miss Izzy, exciting art and craft, prizes, refreshments, goodie bags. The Rotary Central Spring Storytime, Saturday, April 6th at West Bay Public Library. Children must be accompanied by adults. Rotary, creating hope in the world.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines because we've had a few callers on hold for quite a while. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning, Lord Graham. How art thou?
I'm great. How you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. So many things we can talk about, O.C., but it seems like your listeners are not afraid to call in and display or inform you or the public about the things that they see that need changes. Apparently, they're the only one, or we're the only one out on the street that see these things. And if other people are not, that's supposed to be, that can do something about it, not seeing it, after we call in and inform you, or it's on the air, I don't see anybody acting on anything that is being displayed or being discussed on your show. It just talked about and nothing happens. I heard you mention just now about funds should be added and then put into a fund. I think in my opinion, I think it might have been similar to what Mr. McKeever Bush were trying to do. I think we should, every work permit holder should have to pay personally $500 a year, and we would put that into a fund called infrastructure fund, for the fact that the great roads, like you say, some of them come here and never driven a car, they're still on the donkey cart. They can go to any beach in Cayman, because no beach is private. They can go to any beach, use the beach, leave their garbage. They can have parties on the beach when they say there's no loud music, no drinking. They don't observe the regulation. They just use any beach, and they're basically almost have more opportunity to use the beach than us, because we used to go into the beach whenever we want, right? Which don't work no more, because what they do, they'll go there from 3 in the morning to get their hut or make somebody sleep there at night in a hammock. And when we get there in the day, all huts are gone. Huts that our people like Peter Thompson built on the 7 Mile Beach. And now we can't have the pleasure of going there anytime with our family and having a hut. So I think we should they would have to pay like a $500 into that fund for the fact that they have the pleasure of doing all these things. And also, I heard the minister. I'm not sure, but I heard the minister from Northside, the Honorable Jay, mention that the East-West were actually supported by all the members in Parliament. I think he said that. So, OC,
if not Parliament, certainly Cabinet.
In caucus? Yeah, in cap. Okay. So that would make a majority, right? That would make a majority. If it's your government, if it's the government that all in support, that means you got the majority, because you would have to have the majority to be the government. So if you have that majority, why don't we go down to the LA, to the Parliament, and make the changes to remove the powers that are obstructing the road from going through. It's some obstructor that got some sort of power. It's not nobody up there standing up in front of no bulldozer.
Well, I think what it is the requirements, the legislation that requires certain things to be done. Now, when you resort to that, you're really going down a slippery slope, because then one could question, if the government can do that because they want to put a road in, what else would they be able to do? So we have to be careful, in terms of encouraging the government. Wait, let me finish. We have to be careful in terms of encouraging, the government to take such drastic steps that mean that would be intended to either circumvent or to remove legislation that has been put in place for useful purposes.
Or say, when it comes for the best interest of the Cayman people, especially indigenous people, which live still on the eastern end of the island, for the best interest of them. And the slippery slope wasn't slippery on Saturday. It was at a standstill. Nobody was slipping and sliding.
Couldn't slip, right?
Brother. Okay, there was no slipping. So there's no slippery slope there. We need to do it for the best interest. If we can prove that it's for the best interest, there will be no slippery slope. Okay? That was ridiculous, OC.
Yeah, in the public interest.
Can you imagine And you know what it remind me of, Osi? When we had the little earthquake, the little tremble.
Mm-hmm.
The people would nowhere to go. Suppose we had another major earthquake at the particular time when everybody was on the street. Nobody was at home. Nobody could have secured people at home. Their cat, their dogs, nothing. People were stuck on the road, nowhere to go.
But and while we can assign that problem that we had there to the situation with the road, I don't believe that it was handled properly as well in terms of the way that the traffic was directed and stuff like that. There could have been a much larger police presence on the road, and there should have been some way. I was, and I'm only saying this because I didn't have the privilege of going on the road to see exactly what was there, but I still don't understand why at least one lane couldn't have been open to allow traffic to move in at least one direction, and still redirect the other traffic over to the northward area. I don't think it was managed properly.
And people was directed to northward, but when they got to northward, a lot of them didn't know that they had it turned by our good friends fence and go left. A lot of them followed a nice road straight down into our past friend Bigger's subdivision. A lot of people end up down to the gate end and didn't know where they were going, and then it caused a major traffic jam coming back out of there and trying to find out how they're going to get to Wilty Drive. So like you said, it wasn't managed properly, and we need OC to make serious decisions now. We are at the crossroad where we have to make serious decision. If the people can't make that, we elect can't make the decision, I gonna have to put in place some people. I gotta get John Thompson, I gotta get Peter Thompson, and people like that to make these decisions for them, because it seems like just about most people on the street see the things that need to be done. Well, we have to get it done, OC.
Yeah, and to be fair to Minister J.E. Banks, he also spoke about cameras and the fact that they're working on that and they're working on legislation, as well. Sometimes things need to be speeded up, and we realize that the politicians can only do so much. And then when it comes to the technocrats, the civil servants and stuff like that, as well. But,
Well, I really got to give the minister from Northside and the leader from Kim and Bryant props, because I really see things that they're doing and trying to do. And if we had all 19, not because you're not in the government, man, or see you can't be doing things. I remember back in the day when Mr. Haig, them, or what they call on the back bench, they brought more motions to the House than the government that was sitting. So you're elected not just to wait until to be the government in waiting. You're being paid every month. You need to come up with ideas and bring motions to the House also. And if it's good, I know everybody gonna vote on it. Vote for the be unanimous. So,
Lord Grimm. Let me grab another caller before we go to the break.
Well, I'm taking my personal happy birthday to the premier myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, cool.
Miss Susan, let's try to grab another caller before we go to our next break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Thanks for waiting.
Morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm wishing you and your entire family a blessed and happy Easter.
Thank you, and the same to you and yours.
But what I'm calling about, as Lord Graham said, is the loud music. Now, we had an elderly lady that passed away like 2 weeks ago here in the community. And the only thing that separated the house from that one was a road. And it was 2 nights that the people into the rent house was playing the music as loud as thunder. And I would like to ask people to try to respect elderly people when something like this happens. I mean, they probably knew that something happened because they see a lot of cars and stuff into the yard, and I know they know exactly what. But let us try to respect our Good Friday. Good Friday on this island was considered to be holy. And I am asking the people that don't know any better, please to cut their music down. Let us have and observe Good Friday as Good Friday.
Yeah.
It's too much music going around, and the thing is, they have no respect for the people in the communities. They have the parties. You hear them throwing the beer bottles down there. Even when I'm on the main road, I'm in my yard watering my plants. My yard is shaking. The music is so loud with the cars that are passing. I mean, they have to have a little respect. Some people, they're deafening them with the noise and the boom, boom, boom. I mean, the vibration. They need to try to at least enjoy their music for themselves and not the whole community or the people that's alongside of them.
Yeah.
We need to let these people know Good Friday is observed in this island as Good Friday. Please, we don't want to hear any loud music. We don't want to hear any parties, because if I hear a party or any loud music, I am going to call the enforcement and the police and whatever, and I am going to direct them and tell them exactly if I need to get in the car with them, I will take them to the place that this music is going on. So I am appealing to the people that are coming in here and putting this island down, have no respect for Good Friday. Please respect the Good Friday. We all know what the meaning of Good Friday is, so we need to have some of the music cut down or not at all.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Thank
Have a good
you.
Easter.
Thank you, caller. Well said. And I just want to, add my little 5 cents to it and say, for some in these islands, Good Friday is every day for them because it is so good for them in terms of being here in the Cayman Islands and enjoying all of the amenities and at the same time putting the additional strain on our infrastructure and our environment as well. So for some, every day is Good Friday for them. But for those of us who were born here, who live here, and who intend on dying and being buried here, Good Friday is a special day for us. We have to take a commercial break. I'm not sure if we have other callers on hold, but if we do have callers, as soon as we return, the conversation will continue. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
It's Digicel's 20th birthday bash, and you're invited. We are giving away 20 phones for 20 years. Win an iPhone or a Samsung smartphone as part of our anniversary celebration. Simply spend $20 or more at Digicel or be an active postpaid customer, and you could be our lucky winner. It's our way of saying thank you for 20 incredible years of connection and support from our amazing customers like you. Don't miss out on this epic celebration. Go to your nearest Digicel store today and join the party. Digicel, better connected.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
It's a blow garage sale. But wait a minute, it's on Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. Not a problem. Garage sale starts from 6 a.m. both days. So that leaves you plenty of time for the beach and church. Lots of items on sale. Kitchen utensils, pots and pans, household items, electronics, clothes, shoes, books, and a whole lot more. Drop by the Browns residence next to the gas station on 445 Walkers Road and find some great items on sale. Sunday, March 31st and Monday, April 1st at 6 a.m.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have a voice note. We're going to play that, and then we have two callers on hold. But before we go there, this person wrote and said, good morning. You mentioned earlier that people are lawless, and you pass people on the roads with the smell of ganja fuming. They go on to say, we have open borders, and we have imported some of the worst nationalities in this small country, and we have lost control. Remember, immigration fees are approximately 14% of the budget revenue. Thank that writer for that. Let's hear the voice note, Miss Susan, please.
Mr. Orsilia, commenting on the gentleman there that's talking and yourself that's talking about so many cars, that look derelict, right? Well, one is, a lot of it is some people come here, they bring their bad habits with them, and they've made their island look like trash, and they've come here and did the same thing. Because a lot of them don't care about Cayman, so they deliberately try to trash it. And then we have some of our own people that is sloppy and nasty and love to just leave derelict stuff around the place. So that's another thing. So when we need to air this stuff and talk about it so that they realize that it's not acceptable to make the place look like a derelict, downtrodden place. I deal with tourists a lot coming to Cayman, and they repeatedly, one of the things, hey, if they want to go to Bronx, New York, or a rundown Haiti, or a crime-ridden other island, they don't need to come Cayman, if that's what they're coming to see. So yes, we need to continue to talk about it, that for those people that are sloppy and nasty and just want to trash the place, tell them it's not acceptable to leave these cars around the place. And it's not about government. Government then a lot of times have to then go pay themselves, our tax money, and pay to move them, because you got some sloppy, nasty people who have no civic pride. But we need to name them and shame them.
Okay, we want to thank that caller for that. Let's go live now to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning, good morning. How are you? Good to hear your voice.
I'm good. Listen, this is the first I've called this show, but I'm hoping that this one be the last.
Okay.
Well, a weekend ago, Friday, I had a pleasant surprise. I decided I would pretend to be a tourist. And I and a cousin dressed and went down to the public beach.
Mm-hmm.
And what a pleasant surprise down there is. There is no loud music. The people completely got a different attitude. And I want to thank the government for that effort they made to get that place sorted out. It was 20-some years I hadn't been there.
Wow, wow.
And I went there when we had 4 boats in.
Mm-hmm.
Quite orderly. Quite orderly. I'm inviting Caymanians to go down there and check it out. The only thing I see need to be done there is the taxes coming in need some control.
Uh-huh.
But on the beach, we walk there among the tourists, because we're tourists too. We talked to them and had a great day. No music,
mm-hmm.
no unruly people. I think I just seen 2 little runners that were there helping with the umbrellas and the chairs, and they were quite humble. No rudeness, no smell of ganja, and most of all, no loud music. So Lord Graham can go down and enjoy the beach.
Well, caller, I want to thank you very much, for sharing that information with us, because so many times we hear the criticism, but we don't hear when corrections have been made and things are the way that we want them. Then we keep our mouths shut and we don't say, thank you, and commend those persons. Now, some may say, well, that's what they're getting paid for. We don't need to congratulate them in any way. But if you're going to criticize, then you should also be prepared to give kudos when kudos are due as well. And I want to thank you for that. And more people need to, rather than just simply talking about a situation, go and experience it so that you can speak, from the experience as opposed to what you believe is taking place. So I want to thank you very much for your contribution this morning.
There's something else I'd like to
Sure, go right ahead.
and that is, we keep hearing about all these accidents. And if we realize that the least little hit we're going to get from some of them, you will see it look like a bigger accident.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many home garages. When a car is written off, that car is sold to someone else who takes it home in all the yards and they patch them up and they put them out on the road. Government have no idea what condition those cars are in, and we're relicensing them.
Yep.
In the States, when a car is written off, that VIN number can't go back on the road so easily.
Yep, you know the history of the vehicle.
Yes, but here it's written off. It's sold out to someone who just come in here and they go around and pick up pieces. I watch it done. If you look in all the yards, it's a garage, especially a tenement yard.
Mm-hmm.
How are we allowing them to have so many legal garages, and yet if somebody go down the road and sell food or something without a license, it's a big thing?
Yep.
We have to address those yard garages.
Yep.
Too many of them. Too many. I tried to call the Minister of Tourism to let him know about the experience on Public Beach, but I wasn't able to get him. I'm hoping today that he's listening somewhere or someone will tell him. Congrats to the Public Beach.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Good to hear your voice, and please, you're extremely articulate in expressing your views, so you shouldn't hesitate to call in whenever you have a point. Please call us. Those are the voices that we want to hear. We want to hear the voice of reason. We want to hear the voice of concern. We want to hear the congratulatory voices when those do as well. Let's grab another caller before we go to the commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How art thou? How are things over there?
Boy, Happy New Year, happy birthday, everything to you, man.
Good.
Happy Easter, everything. I say, O.C., it's no doubt, my friend, we have lost Cayman Islands. Controlling Cayman Islands is something that we never done from the time Cayman started to develop. We never really done it. Now it's coming back to haunt us right now. Right? We got some people don't see on this island right now that it will be nothing more enjoyable to them than to bring Cayman Islands down level with their countries. It coming like some Caymanians afraid to say Jamaica's one of them, Honduras, all through that South America. You understand? This is how I feel this morning. Well, see, these people come in here, right? And they're doing everything that is not satisfactory to us. And we pass laws against these things, but nobody's not enforcing these laws. You understand? As long as we have these foreign police, merely Jamaican police in our force, for a traffic ticket, yes, or traffic or something to do with traffic, they may probably charge one of their people, right? And they take them to court and they let them go. We got rapists out there in the island. We already let go one. and we put it on the radio how dangerous this bed is, what kind of work you do in Cayman Islands. I'm not looking to hear no more about that. I'm not looking to hear no more about that. But this is what happened, right? Them police, them foreign police, is not going to put no pressure on their country people in Cayman Islands. So anything they want to do, like going around selling food in them old nasty cars and all kind of things like that, because we're not going to have food inspectors checking them out. If we got a food inspector, he's a Jamaican too. The Honduranians or the South Americans, they're worse. They're worse because they're speaking two languages. You understand? Big problem for us also. The Cayman kind is not working no more for us. I don't know if it ever did work. You understand? Well, see, I really don't know what to say now. The policing is in the hands of a Caymanian and Chief Superintendent of Police right up alongside of him. I don't know what to say.
Well, we need to give them an opportunity. The police commissioner has introduced his strategic policing plan and everything, so we need to give them an opportunity. But caller, I have to apologize, but we've reached that top of the hour for headline news at 9 o'clock. I want to thank you very much for calling in. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services and Commerce, the Honorable Andre E. Banks, reassures U.S. policymakers and industry leaders about the Cayman Islands' financial regulations and commitment to fighting crime. This during recent meetings held in Washington and New York. Mr. E. Banks also met with media to explain the country's modern framework and ongoing work. The meetings aim to strengthen the island's reputation and its appeal as a top destination for investment funds. In international headlines, around 30 rockets were launched from Lebanon toward northern Israel this morning. According to the Israeli military, Hezbollah took responsibility for the launches and said they were in response to an Israeli airstrike on a paramedic center linked to a Lebanese Sunni Muslim group in South Lebanon that killed 7 of its members overnight. A Texas law that allows that state to arrest and deport migrants suspected of illegally entering the U.S. will remain on hold for now. A federal appeals court has ruled. The order from the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals follows a March 20th hearing by a 3-judge panel of the court. This is the latest move in a seesaw legal case over Republican Governor Greg Abbott's strict new immigration law. The Justice Department has argued that Texas's law is a clear violation of federal authority and would create chaos at the border. Texas has argued that President Joe Biden's administration is not doing enough to control the border and that the state has a right to take action. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a few WhatsApp messages as well. This person says, why is it that we, the public, witness cyclists with no lights at night riding against the traffic, cars speeding, trailers with no lights? Lately, I even see cars and SUVs with spotlights at night. Person says that they had to stop as they were blinded by those spotlights. Why is it that the police do not see any of this? How can they pass inspection? How can the vehicles with spotlights pass inspection as well? Well, that's a conversation. That's a conversation for another day. But we do see the statistics in relation to the number of tickets that are being issued as well. So, of course, a person gets a ticket for something, and then they're allowed to continue to drive home. No one knows whether or not they correct the situation. They go to court, they pay their fines or whatever, and there's no monitoring of that situation. Hopefully, before the show concludes this morning, I want to share an article with you from Bermuda, where one magistrate has pointed out that the rise in impaired driving offenses has sparked concerns in Bermuda. We see in other Caribbean countries, Eastern Caribbean countries, as well, the number of imported vehicles. Now, some may want to blame the Taiwanese and the Japanese, for it, but don't forget, folks, we're the ones that are purchasing the vehicles. They can only send them out here if they have a buyer, for them, either someone representing them who's going to sell them here or someone who decides to bring a vehicle here. But it is becoming a pandemic throughout the whole Caribbean. Cheap cars, terrible drivers, not enough enforcement. Ms. Susan, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Easter to you.
And also to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I have a few thoughts that I wanted to share.
Go right ahead.
And then I'm going to comment on something afterwards. This is in relation to, I've had an opportunity, or most recently I've had to drive in the Eastern Districts quite a bit. I have a very good friend that lives up that way. And a lot of times it's taken me in the nights, and it only dawned on me most recently how very, how those roads could do with some huge improvements in regards to things like lighting, just simple things like lighting. I think having driven most recently in another country, I remember it's certainly a country that doesn't have the GDP of Cayman. I remember being on one of their roads, and I was so amazed at how well they had the roads lit, but particularly the use of those street reflectors. Now, I don't know if you can have different quality, if they come in different quality, like all things, you can get the IGA or you can get the name brand, because I started to take note of the few that we had, and I say that seriously because I remember when many years ago, we seemed to have utilized them quite often, particularly on what's known as the West Bay Road now. We used to call it 7 Mile Beach Road. That was like the main thing. And I think it's time that the Eastern District roads have better lighting. I think I would strongly suggest, so that's the problem. I would strongly suggest as a solution to the NRA that they send people out at night, even the police, but also CUC as a corporate player in this have a great responsibility. There are a tremendous amount, and I have no doubt, by the way, that contributes to some of the road accidents that we have, particularly people who run off the roads. Not to say speed doesn't get involved, but if you're not seeing corners and bends and dips and the road is full of them until the very last second, even at the regular speed limit, it is very dangerous.
Yes.
And so And so, I've been coming from north side is where I've been coming from. So it's quite a good stretch. And I just noticed the tremendous amount of dark areas, on lit areas.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we had the reflectors properly in the middle as well as along the edges of the road, it helps the driver to actually see where the road, where you'll come off the road, basically.
Yes.
And the very good reflectors, because I'm convinced that there are either better ones or not, cheaper ones. I don't know what it is, but I think we should spend the money on them. And then, as I said, lighting, and then try to fix some of these dips and gips and that sort of thing that road seems to have. I think it'll go a long way to making those roads much more safer to drive.
Yep.
Strongly suggested, because it's very lacking. Also, utilizing that paint in addition to the reflectors along the edges of the road, not just the middle of it, because as I said, it'll help to define where the lane, help to define the lane that you're in. Those things will go a long ways to helping drivers, and particularly drivers who, for example, may struggle to see at night very well, particularly with glaring lights, and there are a lot of cars now with these very high beams, and that's another thing I'm convinced that they don't teach people to dip their lights.
I don't believe that some of them know where a dip switch is or what it is.
Honestly, there's some people who, and I don't know, you don't want to do sweeping generalization and say it's a younger generation. You don't want to say it may be even an elderly person who just needs to have it on all the time. Either way, people need to realize that they need to dip their lights when cars are coming, but helping people to properly see the road is a great start, and one of them is lights. Now, I don't know if there was some sort of consideration, and this is something that came to mind as I was thinking about it. Maybe you see. So, for example, if you get on 7 Mile Beach Road, West Bay Road, it's well lit. I mean, all the way down, and maybe the consideration is you're kind of entering residential areas. So there are people, homes there, but we're past that now. See, the roads there are heavy. It's not just like you and I, where we hear a car every 10 minutes when we were much younger. It is every second, and it really needs to be better lit, and that includes both the reflectors, the use of that road paint, as well as the lighting. I think it will go a long way to help people in that regard. That's really my focus right now. I'll just end with saying this, not to take focus off of that very, hopefully important suggestion. I was very disappointed, almost want to say disgusted, to see our most recent statistics in regards to the numbers of work permits and the areas that they've come from. I'll leave it there. I'm not one who just like to say things and not give suggestions, but there are strong suggestions that I certainly have in mind, so that we don't come across as discriminatory, but we certainly need to do something to look at how we can fix that. And obviously that is linked to a demand, and nobody's suggesting a cool off of the economy, but sometimes we may have to, as a people, and I'm kind of speaking to the Caymanian people now, whoever's listening to their heart, we may have to make some strong suggestions. Or some strong considerations. I listened to the gentleman that you just had on before. I am not one who believes that we're lost, although I hear the anguish of his heart, because I think most Caymanians feel the same way. But we may have to consider, in order to properly address this, not even necessarily solve it, but certainly address it to where we can feel it's palatable, to think about a few things that may be a little bit uncomfortable for a little while, but will hopefully allow us to not become antagonistic towards things in Cayman, and that's where our heart is heading. That's just where I leave it now. My
Thank you.
focus really want to get those lights on the road.
Yes.
It's awful to drive in Eastern Districts at night.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Thanks,
and speaking of the lights, I think the government has to pay, for those street lights. That's no reason why they shouldn't be improved upon. as well. You know, we see money being spent in various areas. Oh, by the way, too, it was good to I saw an article about the 7 Mile Beach and the replenishment and stuff like that, and what some of the owners and the private sector is doing to, or maybe doing to raise money, because I think the government has gotten the message that the majority of the population of the Cayman Islands, people of the Cayman Islands, do not feel that government should be contributing to any portion of that $20 million to replenish the beach to those persons who ignored sound advice, who ignored the historical advice that had been given to them, who ignored the Caymanians, who told them, don't do this, who in some instances may have even breached the law to do it, that they're not going to be assisted in terms of it. Yes, there may be benefits to the Cayman Islands as well as far as the beaches are concerned, but I'm glad to know that government will not be putting one penny into that $20 million for the unforced errors that those beach owners made years ago and are now reaping the consequences of that. Folks, we have to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Every day, thousands of residents use our roads, and every journey requires responsibility. Our actions behind the wheel can have serious consequences. So, let's make a commitment to safety. The Cayman Islands government invites you to take the Safe Drivers Pledge. The pledge is our opportunity to show our dedication to creating a safer environment on our roads. First, visit gov.ky/road safety/pledge. Read and check all the boxes, fill in your name, and click submit. It's that easy. Let's make our roads safer together and say no more for 2024. Visit www.gov.ky/road safety for more information and to take the pledge.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Before we go back to the phones, I have two listeners who wrote in about the noise situation. This one said, good morning. Listening to the lady regarding loud music, I would like to know what is the difference between loud music and 3 to 4 cement trucks at 2 a.m. rolling in and out continuously from 2 a.m. onwards to 8 or more hours in a residential area, disturbing one's peace and quiet. And of course, I think one of our local news entities carried something on it as well. And it is hurtful to know that it appears as if there is limited, it is limited in terms of what can be done to protect the residents in these areas where construction is taking place. And I'm not encouraging anyone to take the law into their own hands. And on Monday, I did refer that the fact that there are other jurisdictions that, you know, people would take things into their own hands and block the roads, put tires in there and stuff like that. But where have we gotten in the Cayman Islands where the urge to make money is more important than living a peaceful life? How greedy can we get that we ignore the fact that we are disturbing persons from their sleep simply because you want to pour a slab at a certain time, you know, of the day for whatever reason? And it, like I said, it's really disheartening to see that no redress can be given to those persons, especially in the persons who were complaining about in the West Bay area. This other person says, I just want to add my 2 cents about high decibel noise issues that we are made to endure. This level of noise creates medical ear problems such as tinnitus, I believe that's the way it's pronounced, for which there is no medical cure. We should not have to suffer as a result of those who don't care. I want to thank that writer for that as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Miss Susan, caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.T.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Happy Easter to you. How are you, sir?
Thank you, and have a blessed one as well.
Thank you.
I hope people realize it's not just a time to go putting up tents on the beach. That it's a celebration of what Jesus did for us to save us from sin, that we didn't have to punish like he did, and arose victorious on Easter Sunday, which we celebrate. Anyway, what I'm calling about, I heard someone talking about the traffic or the hazards that we have on the road with the traffic and so on. I drive quite a bit at nights. I drive the church van out of town sometime. After last night, I went to North Side. And it's hardly a vehicle that you meet that has their light either on dim or focused where it doesn't blind people coming head on to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so dangerous. At 50 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, if someone is on a road and you're blinded for seconds, you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to lose their life. And then something will be done about it at that time when someone is killed. But the people are very careless. If they're walking along the edge of the road, they know the dangers of a vehicle coming behind them. Why don't they have some kind of reflective clothes or something to prevent that from happening? And about bicycles and scooters or whatever, they don't even have to have a license nowadays. Can put any color light or do without any light or reflectors, and what just right on the road is a vehicle that has the license and is built for that purpose. I know there's a few places where there's bicycle lanes and so on where they can ride, but even so, it's not that many. And I don't understand why people are so careless to be walking or riding on the side of the road where traffic is coming behind them and they don't even have the, what should I say, the care to even see if something is behind them or what could hit them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're faced with a dozen people coming head on to you, and half of them have the light so bright you can't see the railroad, but there's people, it's terrible. And I don't understand why these vehicles. I understand that when they go to get an inspection on these vehicles, they're probably told to take off these dark tints and so on. And by the time they leave there, they go right back and put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Some years ago, I had an old classic car. I went to get it licensed and had been licensed before. And because the indicators for the parking lights, which had clear bulbs, they would not license it until I took the bulbs out and put amber bulbs in the front parking lights. Nowadays, you got every color nearly you can find on a chart on the vehicles. Now you don't know if they're coming back on or front on nowadays.
Yep.
Red lights, all kind of colors that are not wise for people to have. But I don't know if the police don't see this or what. A few nights ago, I had to fix my dip switch, dimmer switch. When I saw a car coming that was blinding me, I fixed it twice, and when I looked and I passed them, I found it was a police car. But it didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter if it's police or governor, whoever it is. If they're blinding me, I'm gonna blind them, or at least try to see them turn it so I can put mine on bright that I can try and find a road or keep on a road.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, the little strip of tint that they allow on the windshield. I had a vehicle come in one time, a few years ago. They went and measured that and said it was 6 inches instead of 5 inches. That's allowed. Well, on the inside it was about 6 inches, but outside it was only showing about 5. They finally let me go with that. But imagine, they wanted me to cut 1 inch off this little strip on the windshield, which was doing no harm. Nowadays, people are covering the whole windshield with dark tint. You can't tell if it's got a drive on it or what's inside the car.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things, even if they go to get inspected and they put it back on, don't tell me there's not enough police on the road to see these kind of things and prosecute people, because it's dangerous. Anyway, I guess that's mainly what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much.
It bugs me when I see these breaches of the law and nothing is being done about it. It seems like we got more laws than Quaker got oats, but hardly anything being enforced.
Yep.
So we need to get at the root of the problem that we have and get these junk things off the road. And they don't even check the lights to see when they get it inspected if it's focused up or down or sideways or wherever. So to me, they've drifted so far from what they used to do years ago that it's pathetic.
Yep.
I also had a plastic cover on the license plate on my back of my truck, and they wouldn't license my vehicle till I took that off, which was protecting the plate. It was not dirty; it was clear. You could see the license plate as clear as if it didn't have it. But I think they said something about it. You can't. I don't know if the cameras can't pick it up or what with that on it. But I had to take that off, or they wouldn't license my truck. I mean, they were very particular years ago. Nowadays, it seems like they don't care about anything.
Yeah, and you wonder how many vehicles are on our roads that haven't been really inspected, that are basically just ignoring the laws and at the same time putting other people at risk, because if they don't have proper license and insurance, then, if an accident occurs, then, they can be held responsible, but are you properly compensated in any way for it as well? Yeah, Mr. Thomas, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you too.
Have a happy Easter to you and your family.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, before we go to commercial break, this is coming from a well-respected person who knows about traffic, knows about the laws. And this person has said, it would be remiss of me if I did not give my 2 cents relative to cycling on our roads. As an old cyclist who supports cycling 100%, I say that there is a need for some urgent attention to cyclists, in particular electric bicycles. They are required by law to be insured and licensed. During the gridlock yesterday, I saw persons riding electric bicycles on the sidewalk where pedestrians were walking. This is wrong. It must be addressed by the Traffic Management and Department of Vehicle and Driver's License. Proper legislation needs to be put in place to address the stand-up electric scooters, as it is only a matter of time before someone is knocked down and injured as they are weaving in and out of traffic. I respectfully request that you use your great office in addressing this issue. Note, bicycle licenses were taken out of the law by former superintendent, now attorney at law, Philip Ebanks, when he was the manager of DVDL. I don't know what was the reason. I will endeavor to ascertain for the reason the next time I see him. I can understand the licensing of bicycles, pedal bicycles. I can understand that because of the little revenue that is coming, from it. When bicycle licensing was introduced and was prominent in the Cayman Islands, that's when it was a major means of or mode of transportation in the Cayman Islands. I think it should be optional if you want to register a bicycle. We heard earlier someone talking about the fact that serial numbers on it. You can also, if you have a metal bike, you can engrave your name or an identification number on it. So if it's stolen and recovered, you can properly identify it. But as far as a revenue source is concerned, or as far as any other enforcement mechanism, I don't really see the need for licensing bicycles, pedal bicycles per se. Now the other electrically or assisted bikes and stuff like that, that is something else. Folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. I have lots and lots and lots of WhatsApp messages, and we have a caller as well. What we're going to do after this caller, Miss Susan, we're going to close the phone lines off temporarily. 2 callers, we're going to close the phone lines off temporarily so that I can share some of these WhatsApp messages. Remember, we won't be back on for another week after today's show. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
It's Digicel's 20th birthday bash, and you're invited. We are giving away 20 phones for 20 years. Win an iPhone or a Samsung smartphone as part of our anniversary celebration. Simply spend $20 or more at Digicel or be an active postpaid customer, and you could be our lucky winner. It's our way of saying thank you for 20 incredible years of connection and support from our amazing customers like you. Don't miss out on this epic celebration. Go to your nearest Digicel store today and join the party. Digicel, better connected.
Has the circus come to town? No, it's A.L. Thompson's 2-week blowout sale from March 15 through March 30. Get under the huge tent outside A.L. Thompson's to save big. Save up to 75% on lighting, electrical, plumbing, paint, and hardware. Save up to 75% on housewares, building materials, and the ever-popular scratch and dent appliances. Take advantage of this savings while they last. It's March blowout under the tent at A.L. Thompson's, Georgetown.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have a birthday shout out going to Mr. Colford Scott and Mr. Avalon Anglin, and birthday greetings are coming from your cousin, Mr. Tommy Ebanks. So happy birthday to Mr. Colford Scott, a colleague of mine. When we were both deputy supervisor of elections under the supervision of Mr. Kerner Gomez, who was the supervisor of elections. I worked there for about 33 years. Mr. Scott, probably about the same length of time as well. So, Colford, happy birthday to you, as well as Mr. Avalon Anglin, coming from your cousin, Mr. Tommy Ebanks. One of our listeners talking about loud music as well, and they wanted to point out that they speak about the fact similar Sundays are still a respected day on the brack for many persons on the persons to the island play loud, vulgar music, which is a disrespect to the majority of older folks on the brack. Respect is due. Time for people to exercise it along with common sense. And then one of our other listeners spoke about the fact that there's too much tolerance for deviant behavior in the Cayman Islands, the broken windows theory, and they actually shared an attachment, a link for me, psychologytoday.com, broken windows theory as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine at the block. I'm fine up here. You're talking about, okay, look at O.C., just give me 2-3 minutes, okay?
Okay.
You're talking about the traffic. Now, we had major accidents. Somebody just licked down 2 workers working for a living. But we deviate from that to some fool on a bicycle, because a sensible person I can ride them down. But I want to ask the whole Cayman people, how many bike riders have knocked down people and kill them and run, or lick down walkers, and don't know how to stop, because they crash? I'm guessing. I mean, why it is that we like to leave the real meat and just pick off the bone? We can have people on the road, and listen to me, I don't care who it is. If you're on the road and you're on a permit and you break any laws in our Cayman Island, you're gone. I don't care who you want from. You go. If you don't respect the laws in our island where you are a guest worker. Sure, now listen, Elvis McKeever, I ain't drinking, and I know that we need foreign workers. I ain't that stupid. We know that. I know that. But who do not want to respect our laws? They should not be allowed on the island. Please. Now, see, I've been in Northwood 4 times. 4 times I've been in prison. Guns and ganja. Now, see, I have never seen as much man-ass in Northwood as what I see on the road. Now, everywhere you go, bar, restaurant, these people want them down with showing their ass. Nobody wants you on a black ass, What it is, I mean...
We're still a family show here, Mr. Elvis, so tone it down a little bit with the language there for us, please.
Okay, but I answered in the Bible,
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, yeah. And I start with the word yet, but I'm not going to do that. But, see... Why it is that we just dodging the bullet, and the first thing you hear from my dear cousin George this morning, which I love them, my family, first thing they can bring up is ganja, the scent of ganja. If ganja didn't have no scent, what it would talk about it then? That is something. I drink rum and play music, and you know what I done? I recorded myself just after a couple of beers. And I recorded myself with just smoking, and it was chalk and cheese. My coordination was on. I wasn't slowing down. I wasn't slipping up. But with the liquor, I thought I was doing it up, right? No. Stop blaming it on the ganja. We know it's liquor causing the thing, but nobody gonna say anything about that because 90% of the road that we got built is built off of Judah from alcohol. Trust me on that. Because I've been in the business 23 years, and I know if I was making the money profit that the government is charging on Judah, I would have been retired a long time ago. So, please, people, and hey, you see the Easter?
But Mr. Elvis, if I may interrupt for a second, you have to admit that there are people in the Cayman Islands who are not accustomed to that. Now, we can debate the pros and cons in terms of what effect ganja has on you and what effect alcohol has on you. But we are not accustomed to driving on our roads or walking on our roads and having the smell of ganja. Not to say that people didn't smoke it, but they were discreet about it. And that's the concern that people have. I don't think that people are saying that you shouldn't smoke it, but you shouldn't smoke it in a way that is affecting others.
Okay, great. Okay, I can live with that. Now tell me something. In your days growing up, my days growing up, how much people, whether they were drunk or smoking weed, that were walking around showing their pants off? No, don't tell me that.
No.
How much people had all of these lights blinding people looking, and it's not just the foreigners, It's our local.
True.
Oh, see, you know something? I always saying, I forget where I read it, that one teacher will be teaching 100 students, and she will work on that for a long time, and she might get 5 good students, or he might get 5 good students. But one fool, one fool starts stupidness, and the 100, well, look at this place, 95 of them fall down that road. And Caymania, we can be led with a cotton straw, anything that is stupid. Okay, look here. You go on the beach now, this weekend coming here, right? You go on the beach. You can't carry your little baby and children like that. Because the music that they can be playing and how loud they can be playing it and the what list they're playing. And, see, you know this for yourself now. You work Radio Cayman a long time. You remember that song that played with Bojo Banton, the one that you sing about boom, boom, boom in a batty boy head? All them batty man have it dead. This time that I have heard that on Radio Cayman, and you know when it stopped? When my man came out of jail, that all the other countries there told him, say, you can't go back to the States right now. But all the Caribbean countries say you can come here and have a concert, but that song shall not be played to discriminate against the gay society. And I heard it playing on Radio Cayman over and over, and I heard the other one about nobody know you have to come in my yard. I heard that on Radio Cayman too. Our government-owned radio station. I heard it there. I heard a lot of songs on Cayman radio station. I said, But you know something else, see?
Getting ready to wind down now. We're getting ready to wind down.
Oh, see, until we get a people elected that are not afraid, like Dr. Steve Thompson said, not afraid to say, listen, this is Cayman. We can discriminate against anybody that don't respect our island, our home, and our way of life. Oh, see, thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much, caller. Before we go to the break, we have another caller, but we're going to take that caller after the break. This person has written and said, the real embarrassment is that no politician sees it as worth their skin to step up and say that they will address the issues on behalf of their constituents. Such is the control that the construction posse has over our elected officials. They call the shots. That's in relation to the noise situation and everything else, the ignoring of people's privacy during construction. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. We do have one last caller on hold. As soon as we return, we will take that caller. Lots of WhatsApp messages. I'm going to try to share as many of them as possible as well. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Shop the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale.
In honor of our seniors, Brand Source Home Gallery is offering a 15% discount now until April 6 on appliances, mattresses, plumbing and bath fixtures, lighting, ceiling fans, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, and more. And I heard right, 15% off store-wide.
If you are over the age of 60, you can purchase for your family and friends. Just show your ID. It's that easy to save 15% with the Brand Source Home Gallery Senior Citizen Sale. Visit Brand Source on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000 for details.
It's Digicel's 20th birthday bash, and you're invited. We are giving away 20 phones for 20 years. Win an iPhone or a Samsung smartphone as part of our anniversary celebration. Simply spend $20 or more at Digicel, or be an active postpaid customer, and you could be our lucky winner. It's our way of saying thank you for 20 incredible years of connection and support from our amazing customers like you. Don't miss out on this epic celebration. Go to your nearest Digicel store today and join the party. Digicel, better connected.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning, and we won't be back until another week's time. One more birthday shout out going to Mrs. K. Powery. She's celebrating her birthday on the 31st of March, and birthday greetings are coming from her husband, Mr. Cresswell Powery, and her daughters as well. So happy birthday to Miss K. Powery when it comes on the 31st of March. Let's grab our last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Hey, good morning, Doc. How are you? Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you, and
thank you.
Give me the last word on your radio show this morning. Yeah, I just want to put a proposition to you.
Sure.
When you are physically ill, and the illness, and you're seeing your doctor, and the illness is continuing, and you're not getting any better, what do you do?
Go to another doctor?
Yes, you find out that you get a second or third opinion.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Well, in most I have to find the word, but I'll find it later on. But I'll just use this in most advanced democracies. That is what they do in the body politics. When something doesn't work, you get together, you get your people together, you get your think tank together, and you find an alternative to the problem that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I have been saying all along, and we have we have the parliament. That is, how long does it meet? Once or twice or 2 or 3 times a year for a week?
If that long, sometimes they're in there, but they want to get through with the agenda as quickly as possible.
So we should go down there. They have the majority. These people that I guess they listen to you every day, and they hear the cries of so many people, so many hundreds of people about the traffic situation and the cars on the roads. Just go down there and create a highway patrol system and hire trained Caymanians and hire them to police their streets. It's so easy for me. I do not understand why it's not easy for other people to see. And just when I was with the immigration department, with the chairman of the
PR status and PR board.
A gentleman came there, and he had 22 cars rented, no proper insurance, no proper licensing, and I asked him, "What kind of insurance do you have to protect the people who you rent these cars to?" He said he had ACT, and I said, "Well, what happens if your car hit someone down and it was your fault? How are you going to pay?" And I refused. I'm like, it's so casual. It's so casual, OC, that the people don't understand and don't listen to their people. And another thing, in some jurisdictions, when you commit offenses on the road like that, they have the right to confiscate your car and take it off the road.
Yep.
They take it off the road, and you just cannot just get a ticket and then continue driving. They'll take the car off the road and put you into a compound, and you have to pay to get it back after the offense that you have committed is death with. Another thing, the gentleman who talked about the lighting on the road, sure, he's right. When I was with the NRA over a decade ago, I tried to rectify things like that. I had a subcommittee on the committee with the NRA committee, and we went to CUC. Now, a lot of people don't know at the time that when I was in the NRA, the cost for the lighting in the roads were $98,000 a month. It was over $1 million a year, and I got a few people in the NRA to get a report to me, and we found that some of those lights were not even burning that we were paying the CUC for. And there's one terrible stretch of road from Savannah up to northward, up to Bordentown, I should say. You can't get, when the lighting is so bad that you only see the light when you get right under the light because of the trees that are covering the road, just hanging over the roads. And I went to CUC. We had a meeting with them, and we said, we're not going to pay you that money until when you put up good lighting in the road. Because what a lot of people don't know, CUC has their poles in one of the most expensive pieces of real estate, that's the road system, and they're not paying for that. They're not paying any rent. But we are paying them to light the street for us. And I told them, I am not going to allow them to get paid until we have proper lighting all over the island. And of course, I was a troublemaker, and so the powers who were dismissed me. The only one who supported me was the action man, the minister, Art McLean, was the only one who supported me. And so from year to year, from generation to generation, from decade to decade, it's the same old problem. And all people do is call in, and they make this and that, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Every day we have more accidents, we have this and we have that, and it's like, who the hell cares? I'm going to run a robot in the next election, and I am going to program that robot with all of the things that I talk about and see if I can get some results. Because I tell you, OC, we have lost control of our country, and the problem is that to get it back now, it's going to be a big fight, because people come here now and they see how futile it is, and how weak we are, and how we are, like you say, in some jurisdictions they go and they block the road in order to get response. We are not that kind of people. We have never been. I don't think we'll ever be. And then we need someone to stand. We need a stand-up man. We need a stand-up people to stand up for our rights. Because, if this continues, we are going to be just like every other third world country around us and that surrounds us. Yep. We are going to be just like them. And there's not going to be any difference. And that it's not going to take so long like some people say, it's going to be quick and fast.
Yeah,
And
those qualities that made us so unique, we're losing those, and we're going to become, just like you said, just like any other jurisdiction.
That's right. So thank you, and have a good Easter, and I will see you next week.
Definitely, Doc. All the best to you and your family as well.
Same to you too.
One of our listeners has written and said, naming and shaming is not accomplishing much these days, and they talk about the various nationalities on the island that are doing things. And like one of our listeners pointed out, our callers pointed out as well, it is not limited to foreigners. We have our own Caymanians. The person says that they agree that we don't want Cayman to look like other jurisdictions. Government needs to enforce, clean up when there are people who don't care, derelict cars or vehicles on the roadside, give them a date to have them moved. And I think all of that is in place. We've had persons from environmental health, talk about the procedures that are in place. And they also speak about the fact that vehicles that should not be on the roads that are being passed and licensed because there is a corrupt loophole way of doing this also. Many other policies, unfortunately. So if we go back to what Dr. McField said, if you have a problem, a persistent problem, you go to one doctor and you still have that problem, what do? You seek a second opinion. You go to another doctor. The other thing also, sometimes if doctors may prescribe medication to you, and they may find that that medication isn't strong enough and they have to increase the dosage. Then we should take an example from that. We need to increase the dosage. We need to enforce our laws. If we need to up the penalties, we should be doing so as well. We heard representatives from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service speak about the fact that some of the roads, it is not safe for them to pull speeders over because there is no shoulder, and then you're putting other road users at risk as well. Let's get all of that sorted out. Let's increase the dosage. You want to an example of how when we the broken window syndrome, when we swept things under the rug, when we were in denial about gangs in our schools, and then that whole phenomenon then moved into our streets because those same gang members in schools became gang members on our streets. We waited too long to address it, and what did we end up with? Open murders, daylight killings, people being extremely bold about their activities. The same thing will occur here as well. We are taking too long to do what is necessary. Or legislators, no matter how well-intentioned some of them are, we, the public, believe that you can do more. And why we say that, why we believe that, is because we have seen some of you do more. We have seen some of you accelerate the programs that you have in place to get things done. So we know where there's a will, there's a way. We're asking you, as our leaders, as our representatives, have the will, find the way. Because this paradise is going to be lost eventually if we don't. And we will become Paradise Lost, like the epic poem that was written by John Milton, who lived from 1608 to 1674, and the first version of Paradise Lost was published in 1667. We're going to be Paradise Lost if we do not address the issues that we are facing in the Cayman Islands. It can't be that difficult that it is insurmountable. We can find the answers. We always have found the answers. There is no reason why we can't do so, but we have to do it together. And if it means upsetting some people, then we need to do it. But we have to do what we have to do in order for us to be the tranquil, unique Cayman Islands that we once were. No, we can't go back to the old days, but we can certainly have standards that are equal or exceed those that we had in the old days as well. Folks, have a great Easter. Please stay safe. You hear all of the bulletin and the public notices about being safe on our roads as well. It takes more than words, though. It takes actions. It takes action. We have to do what we have to do. As drivers out there, we have to observe the rules of the road. Yes, the crazies are out there, and they're probably not even listening to the show this morning, but we have to do something about it as well. One of our listeners, we're talking to them about the roads as well, and they feel that when construction is going on in the roads, that maybe more advance notice needs to be given, because one day you're driving on a road and the next day something has changed there and it surprises the driver. My take on that is that as a driver, you always have to be aware of your surroundings, and you should always be driving at a pace where you can react to any unforeseen circumstance as well. Folks, have a great day, great Easter. God bless. Encourage you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the